hear us?
Yes.
Okay, Mike just he needed like 2 minutes. Then he's going to jump off, so we're going to let Mike start real quick.
First of all, I want to thank our guests for coming to speak today. Apologize I can't be there in person. I'm still down in Columbus. I got to jump off and head to one more meeting before I come home. The one thing I did want to touch base on that, is a lot of parents, especially those of our older students, concerned is that do have some positive news. Hello?
Go ahead, Mike.
Do have some positive news that the Ohio House amended budget did include the language that will allow for the 18 to 21-year-old homeschooled population, which is our population, to remain on the Autism and John Peterson Scholarship. That's what we wanted. It still has to be, there's one small step today. It seems unlikely that they would change it at this point. It has to be voted on by the House next week. Then the Ohio House and Senate kind of go on their spring break. And in May, the Senate then takes the bill and they go through it. Obviously, the Senate can adjust it. We don't see that happening, but it is a possibility they could take it off. So our next step will be in May is lobbying our senators, lobbying the Ohio Senate to make sure that that language stays on. Then they vote on it. Then the governor has the veto right. The governor could, for whatever reason, change it. And then if that would happen, then the House and the Senate with a 2/3 majority can overrule him. We don't foresee that being an issue, but I just want to say that there is good news to start. There's still a little bit of a journey to go. All this has to be wrapped up by June 30th, so we'll know sooner rather than later, but we're on the right track and also got some good news on the Autism Scholarship in general. So I think all of the lobbying efforts and all of the individual things that parents have participated in certainly have paid off. In a year where there's a lot of budget cuts, the fact that they recognized us and advocated for us and included increases and the language that we needed is a positive sign for all involved. So I will have more information as we go on. Like I said, it's kind of a little bit of a waiting game to see what happens in the next week. But it's a lot easier to advocate to keep something in than it is to advocate to add something on the Senate side. So that is obviously a positive step right now. So thanks to all involved. And if there are any quick questions, I'll take them. But otherwise, I'll hand it back over to Jake in the meeting.
Thanks, Mike. It's great
Yeah,
news.
thanks. Have a good day, man.
All right, thank you. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye, Mike.
It's like a poltergeist. Right?
Mhm. That's what I said, yeah.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Hate to be so formal standing up here behind the computer, but this is where it's stationed, so we're going to deal with it. My name is James Chaney. I'm a representative today of Hubbard Youth Coalition, but also Roosevelt Community Partnership. I'm here today to talk about our new programming opportunity at the Roosevelt Student Wellness Center in Hubbard. Just to give you a brief history, the gymnasium that we have our programming in was part of the original high school that was built in 1939. 12 years ago, the elementary school, it had transitioned to an elementary school that was torn down, and for 12 years, it was underutilized. One sports team for 3 months a year used the facility for about 3 hours a night. They asked me to coach through COVID because they needed extra hands. So I coached other sports at Hubbard, so I did that. And when I saw the condition of the facility and how our kids were using the facility. We just knew we had to do something to make it a resource for the community as opposed to just being neglected. So our organization, Hubbard Youth Coalition, partnered with the school board in Hubbard. We gave them a plan that we thought we could accomplish, and we investigated on whether or not it could be done through architects and engineers. And then when they gave us a green light to go and get it done, we raised about $450,000 to $500,000 to complete the first 4 phases of the renovation. So we just completed those first 4 phases. After phases 1 and 2 were done, we started utilizing the building, and that was in September. We've had over 1,000 bookings since September. We're at like 1,200 right now. So, and we basically the way we set up this facility is that non-school age participants, we have a 55 plus program. People can come in and use the cardio equipment, the gym, all of those things, play pickleball, do all those good things from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's also when our program is for the individuals with intellectual disabilities. And so we do that. We've been doing that twice a week since September. It's been an awesome program. We absolutely love it. It's opened my eyes. My family, me personally, never been touched by autism. I was ignorant to it, to be honest with you. Just didn't know. But we have members of our community. Everything we do there is volunteer based. And so our goal with the facility was just to get as many individuals inside the building as possible and touch as many different segments of the community as possible to utilize the building. So our school age students use it from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then also on the weekends. So we have programming. During those conversations, during the fundraising, we found out that there was a need, for some group homes in the area that was state-based group homes where they were getting audited and making sure that their individuals had some type of social interaction. They just weren't stuck in a home. Now, I am familiar with those type of group homes because I own a contracting company. So for the last 17 years, one of our biggest clients is the Verlin Foundation in Pennsylvania. They have approximately 52 homes across Allegheny County all the way up to Mercer County. And so we've worked in these homes as contractors, but that's as close as the interaction has ever gotten. So I knew that there was a need based upon what they do, but just never had direct contact. So we started the program. I really didn't know what to expect. We just saw a need. We had, a resource to help with that need. And we said, let's do this. Let's make an impact. It's been awesome. We are now at the point where we were doing it as volunteers. We've hired 2 aides now to actually run the classes. We pay them to run the classes. We also supplement them with volunteers, so we have multiple people there. Our goal was, the state mandate was social interaction. But as a coach and using a facility that's a gymnasium, I just didn't want it to be social time.
What all's available with this?
So
Do they have swimming and stuff? Is it open
we
to
don't
the
have
public?
swimming. It is open to the public. And we don't have swimming. We're just a gymnasium. There's cardio equipment, treadmills, ellipticals, bikes. There's weight room equipment. There's a gym floor. We have pickleball. We have basketball. We have volleyball. And you'll see on the video I brought a video in, a 2.5 minute video of some of the activities that we do with the individuals. There's also a multi-purpose room where we do arts and crafts, and we have birthday parties for the individuals that come in, and just try to make it a good, fun-loving environment. But that's where we're at. We started in September, but now we actually have, we call them trainers because we run a Silver Sneakers program, and they work also as our Silver Sneakers programmers or trainers. So they run Silver Sneakers classes for the 55 plus community. So it's our facility. Let me go to the video real quick, and then we'll come back, because I want to show you kind of so you can visualize what I'm talking about as we talk about it. So we do run this since September. We've been running this 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday, from 9:30 a.m. to 11. However, this week The first week of April is when we're stepping back to 1 day a week. The reason we do that is because the primary users of this facility during this time are all from a group home. So we have other individuals that have been coming in more than that, which has been great, but we don't have enough to carry a 2 day a week cycle. So if we get additional participation, we'll move that back to 2 days a week immediately. But for right now, since their group home works at Sharon Speedway, and a lot of the individuals go there and clean up the speedway on Mondays and have a great time with it and work there. So this starting in April, we're at 1 day a week. But let me show you what we have. And I'm going to stop it periodically just to give you some feedback. So this is obviously in February. I use this more as this is what you'll see on Facebook, how we advertise. But I also thought it was kind of cool that, you know, some of the things we do with the participants, you know, when they come in, this is just what an average game day when they took part in some of the individual games. You'll see the volunteer shirts on the back. So when we don't have school, our organization, HYC, part of our mission statement is to create servant leaders in the community. So we take high school kids and we try to put them in environments where they're doing community service that's meaningful and impactful. So when they're older, that they know that all those programs and things didn't happen by magic, and that they've got to put the work in. So any day we have that's off school on a Monday or Wednesday, whether it's a snow day, whether it's you know, a waiver day for school or a holiday, our kids come down and we get volunteers to come down and interact. And this was John getting taken to the hole by one of our girl basketball players. And John's one of my athletes. He's a great guy. T-ball is absolutely one of the most favorite sports that we play.
Thank you. Thank you for turning that off.
Oh, I didn't. I think it just keeps going off and on.
Oh.
It's really annoying.
They
I'm
call it
sorry.
IT, but we have to wait for them.
Yeah.
Brian is one of our volunteers there, and Tina is also a volunteer. Tina and Renee are actually two of our trainers now. They started out as volunteers, but now they're certified trainers. One of the coolest things that we've done with the treadmills, so a lot of the individuals were really hesitant to walk and compete and you know, just wanted to sit and talk, which I'm not about that. I want to see kids moving and guys moving and getting after it a little bit and just having fun. And the treadmills were a great thing. We got the TVs mounted just like a gym. When you go to the gym, you have the TVs. And, you know, if they want to watch TV in any way, they're on the treadmill. And the guys love it now. And so they'll get their 20 minutes in and, you know, we'll put a video on for 20 minutes or something. And they get their time in. And you can actually physically see since September now, they're starting to lose weight. They're starting to be healthier. They enjoy walking now. There's a lot of competition in the games now. Like it's really taken off. It's pretty cool. This is one of the visiting dogs that we had come in. We took him for a walk around the community. That was last week or 2 weeks ago when the weather was actually nice. It was decent. We do yoga. We bring in yoga instructors. That's one of our young kids. He's in special ed here at YSU. He's a student. He comes in. He played for me in high school. This was a cool day. This is Austin. He's one of my guys, and he was talking about. I don't even know cars, so I may be wrong, but I think it's a Chevelle.
It is.
So he was talking about how, you know, he loves Chevelles. It's his favorite car. And one of the other volunteers knows a guy that gets his Chevelle and car shows. And then he got on the phone right away. And next thing we know, it's in the parking lot in Austin. It just made his day. It was an awesome. He absolutely loved it. We play a little bit of chair volleyball. That's at the beginning. They're a little bit more competitive now, and they made us put the a volleyball net up. We played last week with the large volleyball net. They have activities for the holidays, Valentine's Days. You know, this is what karaoke is. We try to only do it, you know, 1 to 2 days a month now because it is the favorite. And it's taken over everything. If the sound was up, you'd hear a great rendition of Bobby Brown right here. And what's cool about this is Eric. Eric was at a different group home previously. He had to be removed for behavioral issues. This was the new group home he's in. They had a lot of difficulty with him. He is a gem. There's no behavioral issues. He comes in, he's excited to be there. Just loves the environment. We've had 0 issues with him since September. And this one we posted on Facebook, and Tina, who's there, is friends with another group home worker and employee. And she happened to see it on Facebook, and she called us and she's like, "That's Eric." And we said, "Yeah." And that was the group home he got removed from. And so they were just flabbergasted. And so now they want to be a part of it. And so we're going to be joining with them. So that's where I'm hoping we're going to be able to move back pretty soon. That was last week. We got that went much better than anticipated. It was pretty cool. This is one of my good friends, Mike Ajari. He owns Impression Media in Hubbard. David, another one of they're all my favorites, but he's one of my favorites. But he's a huge Guardians fan, and he's the guy that was been walking on the treadmill quite a bit. But he'll only walk when I put the Major League Baseball Network on. So we're good with that. So he watches Major League Baseball Network, and he asked me last week for a calendar. He's like, "Can you print me out a calendar for the Guardians schedule so I can keep track?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'll do that." So I went to print it, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, Mike is the ultimate mega Guardians fan, season tickets, the whole deal. So and he lives just a couple blocks away. So I called him and I said, "Hey, Mike, I need some type of calendar, like a wall calendar or something." And he's like, "I'll be right down." And he comes down within a half hour, and not only did he bring a wall calendar, he put a grab bag together. That ball was used for batting practice at the stadium. He had a bobblehead in there. He had a bracelet. He had the C, and it just absolutely made his day. That was earlier this week. And then I didn't put the video on here of David hitting the home run this week, but he came in, he had his bracelet on the next session, and was just fired up, and hit his first home run in T-ball. And he's like, "It's the bracelet." It was great. So it's just like, it's become a great thing for the community. And like I said, a lot of my friends, hear me talk about it and gets them fired up. So it's been a good thing. So that's who we are. That's what we're trying to do. Kind of gives you an idea of, what we do there. I didn't really show you any arts and crafts or anything like that, but there are arts and crafts. The 2 trainers we have were former, they're sisters, and they owned a daycare together. So they love crafts and different, field trips and stuff like that. So those are all, I'm more the coach, and we build relationships with, these individuals, and, it's been awesome. A couple of guys call me coach. I coach football at Hubbard, and we just set them up. I talked to Bala management owners, and we got 2 of them that wanted to come. They're going to come to our opening game against Brookfield, and I'm going to have them down on the field with me, and for the start of the game, and then and they're just fired up about it. It's been a great thing for me personally, but also I think for everybody that's involved. So we have, I told you about Tina and Renee. We also have several other volunteers. Like I said, we're all volunteer based. There's 7 of us individually that manage, market, and maintain this facility. We do that. The school leases us this building for $1 a year. They pay for utilities, but we manage, market, and maintain it. That's our job. It's just what we do for the community. So this is just a small segment of what we do. And then right now we're in the process of partnering with the other group home. So we do expect that to happen within the next couple of weeks. We've also just met with Stacy, who's the director at the Autism Society of the Mahoney Valley. Extremely excited. She, within an hour after meeting, she sent me back a list of ways that we can partner together and how we can do this. This group is meant for individuals 18 and older. We look to partner with them, with the Autism Society for individuals under 18, but we thought it was important right now that all these individuals are over 18. And I thought about my kids in school. If I had a 15-year-old or 14-year-old, I wouldn't necessarily want them hanging out with a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old and just interacting. So I didn't know how that would go. And I think, that's what we did. We cut it off at 18. And then, like I said earlier, we're meeting right now 1 day a week. That will change in the fall. We'll go back to 2 days a week unless we get some input from individuals in the community that want to join. So that's what we have.
So they can only come till they're 18?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No.
It's 18
18.
or
Oh,
older.
okay.
Yeah. So anybody over 18.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so we will eventually have programming for individuals younger than 18, or the facilities actually, I know you asked some other things we do. The facility can actually be rented by individuals for birthday parties, for graduation parties. We have that going on. I think we had 10 birthday parties that last month alone.
Nice.
So that's been awesome. So it's just a welcoming environment for everybody involved. It's open to the community, different age groups at certain, different times, but it is open, for activities and different things.
So our son's gonna be 19, so he can come participate with
He
the
absolutely could.
children? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And right now, like, Eric had a birthday last week. He was 54. He's the oldest. He was the one singing the Bobby Brown song. He's the oldest. I think the youngest that we have is Timmy, who graduated with my son, who's 20. I coached Timmy since he was 6 years old, in T-ball. And so I have a really good relationship with their family. And he's the youngest that we have, and he's 20. So, and actually, I'm sorry, John, his family just moved to Hubbard 3 years ago, and they really didn't have anything, no resources. And the mom was having a difficult time. He's 20 as well, and he just started coming. And she, we set this up so we really want to be as accommodating as possible to the parents. John's mom wanted to stay. She did not feel like she could leave that first day. So we absolutely said, you can be part of it. Be part of the class with us. Be a volunteer. You're absolutely welcome to do that. And if any of the parents decide to do that, there's no charge. You're actually involved in the activities. You're on the floor. You're doing something. We have one other parent that said, no, I don't want to do that, but I wouldn't mind walking the treadmills. Well, then they pay $5 extra and they use the facility however they want. They're still under the roof, but they're not part of it. And then we have other parents, 2 other parents that drop off, and John's mom is one of those now. She stayed the first time, and it broke her heart to leave the second time, but she left and she came back, and it was awesome. And the third time she came back, because he just started last week, she was like, he has never wanted to go outside the house when it's cold. He's real sensitive, and if there's anything out of the ordinary, he's just shuts it down and says, I don't want to go. And she said it was freezing and it was raining, and she's like, you want to go? And he said yes. And she's like, I knew right then, like, this is where it needs to be. And it's just such a cool thing. So we have different parents that handle it different ways, and that's just the way it is. So, but we try to accommodate the best we can with that.
And is it $10 a day for the?
Yes, for any
Individual,
individuals participating, it's $10 a day. If they have a caregiver, it's free. If they have a parent, it's free for them to participate. And then, but if the parent wants to stay and use the facility and just be there, then it's $5 if there's. But we also have a multi-purpose room. Parents are welcome to sit up there and it's a second story, and we have windows cut in. And so you can watch from a distance and be part of it, but kind of still keep your distance. That's free as well. Just sit under the same roof. And then there's a big screen TV in there, and you can sit and watch TV and just relax, but still feel comfortable that you're under the same roof.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So any other questions? All good? All right. Let me look over this just to see if I missed anything to make sure. Cause I get going and I forget about what I wrote down. I'm good. Covered everything. So, really appreciate your time. I did bring some flyers.
So I was just gonna say, do you have handouts?
I
that you can
do,
send
and,
home?
and if you want, I mean, I think you mentioned possibly copying or sending these out to, your website or
Yeah.
Facebook page or your parents. You're welcome to do that. I also have some business cards.
Thank you.
I left those in the truck. I'd be happy to bring those back in just in case anybody has any questions that they have that they think of later on. You're welcome to call. It's no problem at all.
We have a grandson that goes to Struthers. He played you guys this year in football.
That was not a good one. So Coach Bayek coached me in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he coached me, and I absolutely love Coach Bayek. 364 days a year, but they put a whooping on us that night.
I'll tell you what, this area linked to all, like Belichick Field and everything.
Yeah.
This whole area has a direct link to all the professional NFLs and everything.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's
Pretty impressive.
yeah, it's a cradle
So
of
you do
coaches.
this every week, once a week?
We do, yeah, and like I said, we will possibly move it back to 2 days a week. We will for sure in the fall.
Okay.
Once Ballot Management comes back 2 days a week, again, they clean outside for Sharon Speedway when they're active. So they'll be back in the fall to 2 days a week. They're the ones who initiated this, and brought the idea to us, and helped us out with the facility. Like the owner of Ballot Management was actually there touring the facility because his grandson wrestled and we use that as a wrestling room. And so he donated to the construction costs. And then when we started exchanging ideas on how to do it, he told us about the group home and his need for that. And so that's kind of how the conversation started. And we got, so their group of anywhere between 10 and 15 individuals, they come from East Palestine and Majory. And so sometimes just one facility comes, most of the time both come. It just depends upon, transportation issues. But they started coming 2 days a week, through the fall. Now that the weather's warmer, they'll be 1 day a week. Okay. So
Is Vicky Enoch still on Sharon Speedway?
I don't know. I don't have any affiliation with them at all. Yeah, I don't know, but okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having
Thank you.
me. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Is there anything else, or we stop at this point?
No, yeah,
Well, thanks everybody who's logged in. I hope that you were able to hear our speaker well on WebEx this morning. I think that's it for the meeting, so I'm gonna shut this off unless anybody has any questions.
I think for the most part, the only thing I would mention is events, but they're all on Dojo. If you look at our school story, under events, you can see everything upcoming for the holidays, so.
See, I don't know how to use Dojo, so we miss out on, I don't know, like.
So there's a class story and then there's a school story. The class story has the daily activities from the classroom teachers. But then the school story is where we're posting spring break, the Easter egg hunt, Scholastic Book Fair. I can show you. Do you have the
Yeah,
app? I can
yeah,
show
if you
you.
could just show me, that would be great, cause all I know how to do on this app is hit Anthony Secor and talk and type, that's it.
I can
Okay,
show you. Yeah, because the school story is where we've been posting a lot of stuff, and I'm still trying to send out the one called the text,
Okay.
with upcoming dates as well, just as a double verification that you guys are getting it. But yeah, the Dojo we've been trying to really use a lot more. So,
Alright,
but that's all I had. Yeah.
All right.
Can you talk to her?
yeah, I'll ask her, sure. Alright, we're done.
We can talk to her.
Thank you guys for coming.